Okay, so it's been one of the hottest topics in hockey at the moment, and we're making this video here today on the 24th instead of the 23rd. Merry Christmas Eve to those who do celebrate Christmas, by the way, and happy holidays in general as well, but because we already made 4 videos yesterday, I was like, okay, I really don't want to burn myself out, you know, so we're making this video a day later. In fact, I'm actually just recording this on the night of December 23rd, so if something changes with the Tampa Bay Lightning and their overall situation of money, then I apologize for that. If Anthony Cirelli goes out there and signs a contract between the time of this video is recording and the time of this video is uploading, then I apologize for that. But at the moment, what we have here is a Tampa Bay Lightning team that just got a very big boost in one area, but a significant takeaway in another. So, let's talk about Nikita Kucherov. Nikita Kucherov is indeed the story here, and if you've been paying attention to anything related to the NHL, you know what happened. Kucherov's out for the entire season, and this sucks. Yeah, believe me, this really does suck. But at the same time, there is a silver lining, so to speak, with a move like this, because the Tampa Bay Lightning for the entire 2020 offseason have been one of the teams that everybody was kind of anticipating a big move coming out from. Everybody was taking a look at their cap situation and saying, okay, this is a team that does indeed have so many players to re-sign. Cernak, Cirelli, you have that Jan Ruda you had over there, not to mention Mikhail Sergachev. This is a team that is tight up against that cap, and even though they just came off of winning a Stanley Cup, there still are some very interesting questions that arise when you ask, what's next? And because they were so close up to the cap floor, and they were actually exceeding the cap a little bit as well, everybody was like, okay, the Lightning need to do something. Whether it's putting someone on LTIR, or making a trade, or sending someone away. They gave a nice juicy contract to Mikhail Sergachev, who indeed is a very valuable player on this team. But they still had more people to re-sign, and the money they had was dwindling down. It's why we saw so much speculation as to whether or not the Red Wings could get in there and trade away a Henrik Zetterberg to Tampa, or the Anaheim Ducks and a Ryan Kessler. If there could be a Tampa Bay trade where they acquired a dead contract of a player on LTIR for the sake of putting that player on the LTIR in Tampa, with the intention of using the extra cap space a move like that would provide. Well, doesn't really look like they're going to need to do that anymore, eh? This team does not need to acquire a contract to put on LTIR because they have that now. It's Nikita Kucherov, who was diagnosed with, a hip thing? Yeah, a hip thing. He had himself a hip shot as well as full-on hip surgery, and Lightning GM Julien Brisebois earlier yesterday confirmed that he will not play during the regular season for 2020-2021. Okay. Now, this is a huge deal. Firstly, because, quite literally, Nikita Kucherov is one of the most healthy paid players in the entire league, making an AAV of $9.5 million until 2027. He'll be 34 when that contract expires. We probably know that the cap is going to rise from now until 2027, but Nikita Kucherov is indeed in the spot where he kind of earned the money, and even though he may not be the guy who wins the Hart Trophy every year, he may not be the most outstanding player on the ice at all times, Nikita Kucherov still, at the end of the day, is a guy who is able to convert with every little chance he gets. And I said it, man, even though he didn't win the Conn Smythe, he's still the guy out here getting 128 points in 82 games, 85 points in 68 games, 34 points in 25 playoff games to win the cup and lead the entire tournament in points. Nikita Kucherov, quite literally, is one of the top point producers in the league, and he's out. This is like Klay Thompson level caliber getting out of the league for a season. And the consequences of this are, well, first off, you don't have Kucherov playing, which is a big blow to the lineup, but secondly, that $9.5 million all of a sudden gets put on the LTIR, and now your cap ceiling is raised. Maybe that's by $9.5 million, who knows? But at the end of the day, you now have all the cap space in the world to go out there and re-sign that Anthony Cirelli. And again, this might be done by the time this video goes up on YouTube. Maybe by the time this video is finished recording, which will probably be at 11 p.m., 23rd of December, PST, and then maybe he signs an extension at like 7 or 8 a.m. in the morning tomorrow, and this video is going to go up at 10, and the video is already going to be outdated. But regardless, this is the space the Lightning needed to actually get everything back down and settled in. And who knows, they might have so much extra cap room left on the forefront here to go out there and make a free agent acquisition. Like, who knows, maybe it's a Mike Hoffman who signs a very short, very cheap, like, I don't know, $3 million deal. They're like, okay, you're playing in Tampa Bay. We won the cup last year, and you are gonna be playing with the best team in the league. Just take a cheaper deal, accept the Tampa Bay taxes, and you'll be fine. And it'll be great once Nikita Kucherov comes back for the playoffs, and this team that has already assembled a squad that is able to fit under the cap without a Nikita Kucherov gets that guy added back onto the squad, making their team somewhat broken in their overall acquisitions. We saw the same thing happen with the Chicago Blackhawks in 2015. Patrick Kane went out in February, I believe, with an injury, and immediately afterwards, the Chicago Blackhawks acquired Kimmo Timonen, who was a $2 million guy from the Flyers, and Antoine Vermette, who was a $3.75 million guy from the Arizona Coyotes. They used all these players in the playoffs, and when Patrick Kane came back, it was a better team than it had been before Kane got injured, because the extra space, putting this guy on the LTIR, allowed them to bring in more money. So it's kind of scary. It's really scary, taking a look at the possibilities here for a Tampa Bay Lightning team with cap space all of a sudden, because a $9.5 million contract is going to be the gateway to getting more cap space that allows them to exceed the cap. And hey, even though I've been waxing poetic about how Nikita Kucherov is indeed really good, he's a franchise player in this league, he is a guy who is able to score the lights out of every game he plays in, this is still a very good thing cap-wise for the Lightning. And if there's any team out there that's going to be able to survive without one of the best players in the league, without the guy who became the first player to score 128 points in the NHL since Mario Lemieux in the 90s, it would be the Tampa Bay Lightning. I mean, they won the cup without their captain, their franchise goal scorer, center Steven Stamkos in the lineup. He only played 2 minutes. Sure, he scored a goal, but like, the Lightning won that cup without him, let's be honest. So when it comes to a team that is so strong on paper, even without one of their key pieces, the Tampa Bay Lightning are definitely up there. And I've been seeing a lot of Lightning fans saying that even without an acquisition here, you guys can still find yourselves some very good opportunities for some of these other depth guys in your lineup. You guys re-signed Volkov and Mathieu Joseph yesterday. These two guys are going to be given a bigger role now. You still have Braden Point. Hopefully you'll have Steven Stamkos. Who knows what happens with a Tyler Johnson? He's a guy who definitely does have the pressure on him heading into another season like this. You still have some of the guys that you thought you would be trading in Alex Killorn or Yanni Gourde. There's an opportunity here for a Tampa Bay Lightning team without Nikita Kucherov to go out there and prove themselves as a team that is still championship caliber without Nikita Kucherov. And hey, the division they're playing in, I do think they still have a pretty good chance at finishing #1 in this division. So talk to me in the comments what you think about the Tampa Bay Lightning. How will they recuperate? Without a Nikita Kucherov in your lineup, are you eternally doomed? Or are you like me, thinking that the Lightning are going to be just fine? Because that's what I think. This team was winning the cup without Stamkos. Imagine what they can do with a Stamkos, but without a Kucherov, yeah, they'd probably be in somewhat of a similar realm. Of course, though, I'm very scared as to what's going to happen with the Tampa Bay Lightning in the playoffs, because if you have yourselves a team that still is able to prove themselves as worthy, let's say Volkov and Joseph and Johnson, let's say these guys come in and they're absolutely phenomenal. These guys are the best we've ever seen them in their careers. All of a sudden, this team is still #1 in their division, and then they get Kucherov back. Ooh, my gosh. We've seen these Russian NHL elite talents come back from injuries and not be all too effective, like Vladimir Tarasenko, for example. This guy was invisible in the playoffs against Vancouver. But Nikita Kucherov is different. I would expect Nikita Kucherov to actually be fine, if not better than ever, because he had the time to rest his body when he returns in the 2021 Stanley Cup Playoffs. And by the time a team like the Tampa Bay Lightning is all settled in, adding a piece like Kucherov could be the final kick in the behind to push them over the hump of winning a second cup in a row. And that's not even talking about the potential acquisitions you can make with a Nikita Kucherov LTIR cap hit freed from your lineup. So talk to me in the comments about all that stuff in the comment section below. Am I right in my assessment, or is this just kind of whack? Am I believing too much in Tampa by thinking they're going to be fine without Kucherov, or should this be calling for a little bit more panic than I've expressed in this video? Tell me in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed this with Josh Rolls 99, and bye.